Welcome to the Limit Free Life Show. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host. I bring you tips, advice, and guest stories about creating work you love. Whatever type of career or business you have or want, I want to help you find more meaning, money, and happiness. Now we are live from Hollywood. Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to the Limit Free Life Show. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host, and I'm so happy that you are here with us today. I have a really great guest. I have a guest who has built what I think is a super cool company. And I think you will love hearing her story. And she's been pivoting and changing it throughout the years. And so I really wanted to bring her on, as so many people are pivoting right now in their businesses. And just so she can kind of show us a little about what she's done. I think she's really an inspiration. And I love her products and services. And so I'm going to tell you a little about Kita Centella of Loose Leaf Tea Market, who's going to be with us today. Kita Centella began learning about the healing power of plants over 30 years ago when she was recovering from addictions to alcohol and drugs. For 5 years, Kita was mentored by Native American traditional healer who taught her how to heal her body, mind, and spirit using the amazing powers of nature. Learning about healing plants became her passion, and she made a commitment to share what she learned with the world. Kita completed a course in Western herbalism in 1998. In 2002, she became the owner of a small herbal shop in Phoenix, Arizona, where she also taught a course in herbal healing. Her herbal business evolved into what is today Loose Leaf Tea Market, featuring expertly crafted organic wellness teas that help our customers feel more healthy, relaxed, and empowered on a daily basis. When she isn't working, Kita loves spending time with her family. She's currently working on a novel and enjoys expressing her creativity through art, food, formulating new tea recipes, and other creative endeavors. Welcome, Kita.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for welcoming me onto your show.
Thank you so much for being here. We've known each other a little while now, and I know I've said it a million times, but I don't know. I think it is so cool to have a tea company. And I think, and especially the way you do it, it's not just any tea company. And we'll be showing some pictures of your beautifully packaged, lovely teas, which I drink, and they're fabulous and really they are healing, I know, but for me, what I'm caring about is that they are super delicious. So, we'll talk about, the teas themselves, but let's talk about you as a business owner, because this show is really geared toward people who are thinking about going into business, are in business, and just love talking about business, talking about, the challenges of business and how people are growing their businesses. As you know, being a business owner can be kind of lonely and kind of isolating. And so hopefully inspiration and insights from people like you are helping people out there who are feeling a little overwhelmed, a little stuck, a little frustrated, or just looking for some new thoughts and ideas that they can apply to their own businesses. So if you would, can you just kind of start a little at the beginning with some of your background?
Well, sure. Like it said in my bio, I started I had a business, a little herbal store, and I was part of a franchise for about 4 years. I didn't have any business background. And the franchise that I was part of, I didn't really get a whole lot of guidance about that. And I ended up breaking with them after a few years because it just wasn't a good fit for me. And I really wanted to continue serving the community with my passion for plants.
Right.
But I wanted to kind of expand it and personalize it a little bit more. I've always loved food. So I incorporated a restaurant into the concept. So I was running a store and a restaurant at the same time. They were right next to each other in adjacent suites. So,
and the restaurant was what kind of food?
It was all organic, plant-based, vegetarian/vegan. We made everything from scratch. We boiled the beans, juiced the lemons, peeled the garlic, did the whole 9 yards. Made cheese out of nuts.
Wow.
It was
and that was what year? Because I know we talked about this, but I think you were just ahead of your time. And
yeah, 2008.
Yeah,
right at the beginning of the recession. What a great time to open a restaurant. Yeah.
Okay, so you had the restaurant, and you had the at that point it was an herb shop, correct?
Yes. Yeah. It was an herbal store, and so we had thousands of products, shelves and rows upon rows of bulk herbs and tinctures and teas and capsules and powders and oils and skincare and just everything. And we made them.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, we did it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you think for a minute that this was going to be a lot, or were you just gung-ho about the idea and you just jumped in?
I was gung-ho about the idea, and I wanted it the way I wanted it. My original background, I've been an artist all my life, and so I was kind of viewing it as this is a creation. It's got to be right.
Right.
So whatever it took.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Without really thinking it through.
Okay, and so you were going along with the two businesses basically,
Yeah.
and you had to hire people obviously to get that going.
Sure, I went from a team of between 4 and 5 up to, I think the highest amount of staff I had was about 23.
Yeah, that's a lot.
A lot. Well, a lot of people to manage in a very small space.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And what were you doing? Were you being kind of the visionary and managing everything and being the strategy person, or were you actually working pretty hard in the business itself?
All the above.
Okay.
All the above. Yes, I was the ringleader of a crazy circus. Yeah, it was. You could call it a 3-ring circus because there was product production, then there was the retail, then there was the restaurant.
Yeah.
So I didn't cook as much in the kitchen, but I ran the front of the house.
Okay.
And so, when you have a restaurant, you just step in and you do everything that has to happen. You pick up dirty plates and you take orders and you talk to the customers and get them really excited about what you're doing. And then over in the store, I would help answer people's questions about all their health problems and make sure everything's done, all the products are made correctly with the right ingredients, doing quality control, inventory management, HR, payroll.
It's a little hard to wrap your head around when you look back on it now. I mean, even hearing yourself talk about it, what are you thinking?
I was really just treading water. I mean, just trying to stay on top of everything. I didn't really dive deep into anything. Like it was all just very surface, and things kept coming at me all the time. So, I wasn't really able to be that visionary that a leader should be, the visionary.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really know how to hire. So I would hire people with certain skills, but they might not have people skills or managerial skills. So I did a lot of staff training. I trained about product knowledge, health, wellness, food knowledge, as well as logistics. Like, here's good processes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was happening in terms of, were you raking in the money? What was going on in terms of the success of the business with all the effort you were putting in?
That's a really good question. We were bringing in a good amount of money, but the restaurant didn't make any money. It lost money during the slow season, and the store carried it. Okay. And during the busy season, we broke even.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, payroll was just off the charts.
What was off the charts?
Payroll.
Yeah, I would imagine. Okay. And so at what point did you start looking at that, thinking, I love the restaurant, maybe not, but it's not making money?
Well, I knew that it wasn't doing that well for a while. And right around the beginning of 2012, the end of 2011, I realized that I had to raise my prices. I hadn't raised them in a long time. Yeah. And so I did that, and I started reading about business and branding and good processes, good practices. And so I tried different things to make the restaurant profitable. I really threw just about everything at it. I hired a couple of different PR companies, waste of money. A huge waste of money. We even rebranded the restaurant part of it so that it was a separate entity from the store.
Okay.
Yeah, we tried that, and really upgraded the look. We remodeled it, upgraded the menu. We started offering dine and demo events where, it was, I think it was like $65 per person, and you would come in and watch the chef do a demo of something really cool, like how to make Alfredo sauce using cashews.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. And then you'd have an awesome meal. So those were pretty good, and those were pretty profitable too. But it just never came together. The money just never showed up, and so around the beginning of 2015. I just saw it. It was like, okay, black and white. I'm going to have to either close everything or close the restaurant, because the restaurant's just bleeding the store dry.
Okay.
So
yeah, I think, I harped on that a little just because I think it's really interesting, because it was kind of a labor of love, and people were really enjoying it. But at some point you have to make that business decision about whether to keep it. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard to let go of something like that. And
it's hard.
Yeah, you described it well when we talked before, about the kind of loss that you feel when you let a business like that go.
Yeah, it felt like I was putting a pillow over its face.
Yeah.
It really felt like that. Like, this was my creation. I opened it on just a bare shoestring. Like, I had a little bit of an inheritance from my grandfather, and that went all into it. And then another friend loaned me $10,000, and so I got all used equipment and did all the painting myself. And
wow.
Yeah. So everything went into it, and it didn't work. I tried 7 years. I tried it.
Okay.
That's long enough to give it a try.
Yeah. And so you made a wise business decision at the time to let that go.
Yeah.
And so from there, did you rebrand again at that point? Because you've done a lot of rebranding. And I think that's really interesting, because I think that's something sometimes people don't do and they should do. It just almost never even comes to mind. Things, if they're stuck, maybe rebrand. But you seem to kind of naturally go there.
I did, because the original concept, people didn't understand the name of it. They didn't get what we did based on how it was branded, and it wasn't clean. It's got to be self-explanatory. People shouldn't it shouldn't be a puzzle. When people come into your door, they shouldn't be like scratching your head, like, what do you do? They should know. They should feel confident. Oh, this is for me. So I had thought about doing a rebrand for a couple of years before we actually did it.
Okay.
So right around 2013, I was reading books on branding. I was tossing around names and concepts, and how do we want to do this? And so I decided to name the restaurant, or not the restaurant, the business, Loose Leaf Tea Market, because you can't mess that up. That's not ambiguous. It's not confusing. This is tea, and it's loose, and it's market, so you buy
it. Okay. Yeah. Great. I love the name. And maybe that's, I was immediately attracted to it, and I didn't think about the fact that it's just so clear and so succinct, so. Yeah.
The opposite of what I had done before.
Well, and I think a lot of times people either try to be clever, or they try, and sometimes it works, or they go something like Apple that has literally nothing to do with their product, and somehow that works, but a riskier move for some of us. So.
Right. Yeah, it is. You have to get super clear. If you are going to name it something kind of off the wall, like Uber or Amazon or Kinko's, then you've got to have some way to like make that mean that thing in the person's mind.
Right.
So Amazon, they went from the gigantic river in South America to this nonstop river of goods.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so that not only is the name now clear, the packaging's very clear too. I mean, it's clean, it's clear. So the branding is consistent, and I don't know if that was. I'm assuming it was pretty intentional, but
It's very intentional.
yeah.
It was very intentional. It took a lot of thought. It took a lot of time to find the packaging that I wanted it to be, because I'm committed to eco-friendly, sustainable, not adding to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I found these recycled cardboard containers and just fell in love with them. That's it. It's good for shipping, lightweight. If some, UPS guy happens to drop the package, it's not going to shatter.
Yeah, true.
And glass, because I love glass, but it's heavy, it's breakable.
Yeah. Okay. And so you moved from, again, herbs to tea, and so
the herbs are still in the tea.
Right.
The herbs are now packaged in a way that isn't weird to people.
Got it. So everything was about making it understandable and easy for people to accept and consume, basically.
Yes, and so they could see, like, oh, okay, I get it. It's for me.
Yeah.
I drink tea. I can do this instead of all these jars and bottles with droppers, arcane names on it.
Yeah.
That people they don't understand.
And yet you're still accomplishing what your mission was, which was healing, basically. Yeah. So maybe give us a couple little examples of how, what teas you have, how you blend them, and for what purposes, just so people can understand what healing through tea might mean.
Well, teas all have some kind of healing property, whether it's green tea or black tea or chamomile. All plants have some kind of benefit to the human body. Sometimes it's just some nutrition, like it'll have some vitamin C and antioxidants. Great, you can't go wrong with antioxidants. You need a lot of them. But sometimes they're a little bit more specialized, and they can do things that just plain green tea can't do. For example, ginger. Ginger has a lot of interesting compounds in it, like, essential oils. That's what gives it the fragrance. It's got a volatile oil. It has compounds that help to relax, relieve inflammation, promote blood flow. So when I think about what I want a tea to do, I draw on all my years of study on what plants do. And I think, all right, what would help accomplish that? So if I want to make a tea to settle your stomach, think about the different ingredients, the different herbs and teas, whatever, that can help to soothe the stomach. And then I'll put them together in a way that not just will be effective, but also tastes good, because flavor is really important. If you want people to drink the tea, it has to taste good. If it tastes like, the herbal remedies have a bad reputation for tasting nasty.
Yeah.
And
I bought healthy teas that did not taste good. I mean, honestly, you had to really try to drink it. So,
right.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone to a Chinese herbalist?
I have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Forget it. Taste is not a consideration in those times.
Yeah, which I find to be, whatever effort you've put into that has worked in every one I've tried. And I've tried a pretty broad sample of your teas, and every last one has been delicious. So, yeah. And why did you decide to go with loose tea? Because obviously people popping a tea bag in a cup is easier for them, but
it's not better though. Just the raw material itself, the tea leaves, when you have to have them in a tea bag, they're shredded very finely so that they don't poke out of whatever the bag's made of, whether it's paper or silk or whatever. The whole leaves will poke holes in it. Okay. You can't fit that much in there, so they have this uniform cut. But when they cut it, it's exposing more of the compounds to air, and it's going to lose antioxidants, vitamins, flavor, aroma, etc. So the quality is lower. When you have loose leaf, you have a much higher quality because those ingredients are intact.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. And you do have these lovely little paper tea bags that I've bought. Put the tea in, and then just, there you go. So
yeah, so easy. It's so simple.
Yeah, I love those. Okay, so now you've got this new rebranded tea company, and you're selling in your store in Phoenix, and so you've got walk-in people, and then but you had a bigger goal than that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And my goal is to become a national brand.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because what we're doing is, it's not just for Phoenix people. It's for anybody who has a body,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Okay.
So
And so that was the goal, to become a national brand.
yes.
And you've got the store and you've got a website, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're really trying to grow the website presence, and to do that, what we're trying to do, like whenever a customer walks into the store, we try to treat them really well. It smells good in there. It's fun. You have somebody really nice to talk to who's going to answer your questions. And when you order from a company, you don't know who you're talking with. You don't know what you're going to get, and it's not a personalized experience. So we really try to make when you open a box from us, we try to make it a nice experience. Like, it should smell good. You've got a personalized note from somebody. Like to throw in little treats. So
nice.
just trying to make that as personalized as possible, so that we don't lose that human touch.
That's lovely. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun to get your teas in the mail, actually. Cool. So, yeah, so let's just talk about the whole COVID-19 event, because obviously you have a brick and mortar store. And so that had a profound impact on all retail. And so what was your reaction to that, and how did you handle it?
My reaction was, great, we've got stuff that can help people through this. Let's get busy. Let's get these products out there. So
right.
We have some products that are good for the immune system, some teas that are that the herbs in there have been historically shown or scientifically shown to be helpful if you're sick. So we put some stuff together, promoted it as much as possible so that people feel empowered. If they get sick, they have something that can at least give them a little boost. I'm not making any promises, I'm not saying that it's cured COVID or anything like that, but just you might have like a 1% advantage, 2% advantage. Whatever. Right. You're going to have an advantage because you're doing something good for yourself.
Right. Right.
So I felt really good about that we could be helpful at that time. We did not let people in the store for a little while. We put a table right in the front, right at the door, with a sign saying we're practicing safe shopping right now. And just let people tell us what they want. We'll shop for them. It worked out just fine. We lost all of the tourist traffic.
Oh, okay. So that was the biggest area where your revenue was affected.
Yeah, because in Phoenix, we have tourists from, right after the holidays. Well, really October through May.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And then once COVID hit, people weren't out wandering around the shopping center. It was a ghost town.
Yeah. Okay. So from a business standpoint, then, in terms of a pivot, what was yours? What was your plan?
We focused more on our online sales. Because we have a website, it wasn't that hard. Some businesses, like I know another retailer in Phoenix who wasn't an essential business, like tea is considered grocery, which is considered essential.
Yeah.
So thank goodness, I felt so grateful the entire time.
Right.
But, I have, another, an associate who has a store where it wasn't essential and they didn't have a website. They did, or they had one just to, like a placeholder, but they couldn't sell goods.
Right. Right.
So they were scrambling to catch up, and I, saw that they did not go into it at an advantage.
Yeah, it really makes you think about readying yourself for things where you have multiple ways to deliver products, especially now, for people who have something in the retail environment, a traditional brick and mortar store. Without that, it was really a problem. I even noticed some of the older Joann's Fabrics, places like that where people would have been buying a lot, but their online presence wasn't really there. It was.
Oh yeah.
Great. So
yeah, that's true for so many businesses where they were really reliant on that foot traffic, and at this day and age, if you're selling goods and you don't have an e-commerce site, just get one.
Yeah, it's really a lesson, I think, in seeing, where business is going, especially technologically. And if you're not, if you're somehow resisting that or not making the investment, whatever it is, you really need to protect yourself that way and have those. I think that the world has really seen the importance of having multiple revenue streams in business, and not putting, it's never been wise to put all your eggs in one basket, but I think now we're seeing how important it really is to prepare for whatever. We've had a lot of things we would have never anticipated this year. So,
yeah, so true.
Yeah. So, okay. So with, and I think at this point, and I think this is interesting too, because a lot of people maybe reluctantly went into expanding their online presence, but in your case, that's a good direction for you. So
that's what I wanted to do anyway.
Right. Okay. There you go. That's what I want to hear. Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes it was a little kick in the butt for those of us who had something we wanted to do anyway, but we just weren't making it happen.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, you know what? My hope is that the online sales continue, but some of that has dropped off as the local people started coming back.
Okay. Okay. So for a business like yours, or, one who has the same goal of trying to build a national brand, what are you finding now that you can do to help that along? And
what am I personally doing, or doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? What are the challenges of that? That's a pretty big goal.
It's a big goal, and because I've never been a national brand before, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'll tell you how it goes. But marketing is just becoming visible.
Yeah.
Getting seen by people that haven't seen us, because we've got the process, we've got product, we've got good people. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So it's really now just time to get it into the world and in front of people. How do you get in front of people? How do you, if you're in front of 10 people, how do you get in front of 100 people? Mm-hmm. So we have an affiliate program that we recently launched, which is one way of doing it, by letting the people that already love us and the product and, know that it works, know that they enjoy it, and letting them make a little bit of commission, just by telling people what they're already telling you.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for people listening too, to check out your website and connect with you about, becoming an affiliate. So I love that. I think that's a great idea, because so many people do love your tea, and it is a wonderful product, and it's fun to be able to sell, somebody else's wonderful product. I don't necessarily want to make tea, but I would like to, help distribute it, because it's great. So what about social media? I know that you're great on Instagram. Is that one of the ways that you're trying to spread the word?
Instagram, I love Instagram, and I'm learning. I constantly learning how to work Instagram. The technical side of it, like how many hashtags is good. They say you can use up to 30 hashtags, and I was using up to 30 hashtags, and then I looked up, because the posts weren't really doing what I wanted them to about those hashtags. And so I just, typed in new Instagram algorithm, and I discovered, so for any of your listeners who are on Instagram and you want a tip, what I learned is that posts that have 9 hashtags get some visibility.
Interesting. Yeah, because I had heard the 32, which feels like a lot, but that's what people were saying. So,
well, that's kind of like scattershot.
Yeah.
If you don't get them this way, you get them that way. For me, if I say tea, I can also say teas. I can also say tea drinker. Say loose leaf tea. So depending on what they're looking for, but I don't think that it has been working. it has, no, it's not that I don't think, I know that it hasn't been booked.
Yeah.
You look at your insights and you can see
Right.
what's working and what isn't.
Okay. Yeah. So you're very involved in those kinds of things, like looking at your marketing and figuring out whether it's working or not, which I think is really important. And so I think it's great that you actually do those things versus just putting things out there and hoping that that's going to take.
Right, right. Well, but you do have to try some different things. Like, I had tried having different sales at different times. And this year I discovered the 1 day only sale has been effective, and figured out the formula of how to market that.
Nice. Yeah. Well, speaking of this, so you initially you said you didn't know anything about business. You'd been more of an artist and you jumped in with both feet doing what you love. What has transpired over the years in terms of your own business education, and how did you make that happen?
I don't know if there's like any like a sharp delineator, but I had been super involved in the making, the crafting, the customer interaction, and that was really fun for me. Mm-hmm. It was a buzz. I got off on it, and then after a while, I think I just got tired of it. I wanted to do something else. And learning about business, that's new.
Yeah,
it's a nut that you have to try to crack. It's not an easy nut, but it's got juicy stuff on the inside. So it's fun learning how to do that. And I'm taking a step backward from being that face because, I had spent so many years not just taking regular days off and just scooping herbs and answering the questions, counting the things out. And I can't do that anymore. Well, I can, but it's just not what I want to do.
Right.
And it's not going to propel us forward. So learning about business, what makes a good business, what makes a good brand, how to be consistent, how to create a consistent brand across all channels, the visual, which really appeals to my artistic side.
Right.
Yeah, right. I've let other people do some graphics for me, and I just snatch it right back because they don't get it. You have to get it. You have to see that there's an aesthetic to a brand. It might not be my personal, that's how I decorate my home. Mm-hmm. Or that's not the music that I want to listen to. That might not be the colors that I wear.
Right.
But that's the business.
Right. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Right. That's what the business is. This is the business's voice and terminology and attitude and favorite colors.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. So you see your business as a separate entity that has its own life force and everything.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And it's very different from the business concept that I had before with the store and the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Totally different.
Yeah. So what kind of business help do you get? I mean, what do you delegate? What do you, who helps and supports what you're doing? Who partners with you to create this strategy and move yourself forward?
Well, I joined an organization called Pinnacle Global Network last August. And so for the first time in, maybe since 2004, I have a mentor who has scaled multi-million-dollar businesses. And so I'm getting the help of their expertise. Yeah. So I have that. I have through Pinnacle, I met awesome people like Michelle and some marketers who are really super savvy. Mm-hmm. So learning their tips and techniques, and just learning all kinds of things.
Right.
Yeah. I have been taking I signed up for the course with Michael Burnoff, the Core Influence. Mm-hmm. It's helping me to really understand myself a little bit better so that I can be more effective. So it's for business, but in order for the business to work, we have to work.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that really gets missed is, that whole self-awareness and who we are, what we're trying to do, what are we standing for, what are we an expert in, what are we not an expert in. I mean, all of this stuff that we need to know in order to make it work. But oftentimes we just jump right in and start building, and we don't always know those things. And then you have the journey, and then you look back and you realize, or a mentor comes in and helps you to see that, yeah, you need to understand these things about you and what you're bringing to the table or what you're not. So it's such an interesting process. I just love it. But what would you say about that? Like the systems too. I know we talked about how when you began, you didn't have some of the systems that you probably can't imagine living without now. But
right, yeah, we had a cash register, without a POS system.
Yeah,
so it took me a lot of years to get one of those, from 2002 until 2012. We got a POS system. Yeah, that's a long time to be without the ability to track. And it was so eye-opening, so that it made all the difference in the world. Although it didn't make me very popular with people, because I just would see that something's not selling, or we'd sell 2 a year.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to keep that. It costs too much to keep it on the shelf than it does to continue it.
Yeah. When we talked about that, I thought that was really interesting, because until you had that system, you didn't have the data to tell you what products you needed to keep or let go. And
right. It just had broad categories like herbal tea, black tea, but not which ones.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. And you threw around some numbers that were pretty high about,
about what I had to throw away.
Yeah.
The nearly $100,000 worth of inventory, not all at once, but phase it in phases: jars, bottles, extracts, pounds of herbs.
So kind of learning the hard way about what would have made probably really good business sense to invest in initially. Yeah.
Right. Well, because the problem was that it wasn't just not having the savvy, it was also that I was attached to things. I wanted the things that I wanted. Like I wanted to have always, when I was working with customers, I wanted to have every single herb that I wanted available. It didn't matter that I might not need it only once or twice a year. I wanted it when I wanted it. I wanted it to be available. Yeah. And that didn't make any sense. And, this might sound really goofy, but I'm going to say this. I felt like almost guilty when I got rid of certain things.
Sure.
Like, oh, you poor herbs, I love you, but
yeah,
I've become pretty brutal about it. You got to go.
Well, I think you're speaking on behalf of a lot of people who do work or create a business around a passion, because you want to bring that passion, you want to bring that, that thing that you love to people, and you want to, bring it fully. And that might mean having every herb on the planet in your store. But from a business standpoint, again, it may not work in terms of.
No, it's got to be so streamlined. Like I had a friend who has a business in Phoenix, and she had a line of flower essences. Six products, 3 ways: drops, spray, and oil. So that's it. That's all she had. And I had thousands. Wow. Over 2,000 products. Wow. It was so silly. And so now I'm nowhere near that. I've gotten the lesson. I get the lesson, and I'm continually paring down.
But in all honesty, it would have been impossible to figure that out without the system that was tracking it.
No, there's no way.
Reports and analysis, that you could look at.
Right.
So, so just like with money, it is important to track. It's important to, pay attention to what's going on. It all tells a story. So.
Well, it does. And if you're not moving it, how much money do you have just locked up? And if it's not going to move for a year, like you want your inventory to turn. If you have a product business, you want that money to turn and turn and turn and turn. Right. So now, like what we're doing with our teas is we're or I'm ordering ingredients maybe twice a month, maybe 3 times a month, tops. Making small batches, moving it, getting more, moving it, getting more, moving it. If it sits around, if it's like been there for 3 months,
Yeah.
it's why carry it?
Mm. Okay. Yeah. So you're on that all the time now with the tea. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd love for you to give because you have, you've been at this a while. You've taken the time to really educate yourself and also look at your experiences over time, and you keep evolving. Was there ever a time when you thought, that you wanted out of this, or you just okay?
Yeah. Yeah, there was. I had 2 store locations, and it was insane. I opened a second store location away on the East Valley. If you're familiar at all with Phoenix, I'm in Central Phoenix. The store was in Awatuki, which is out past IKEA. If you know where that is, you'll know that it was at least a half an hour drive to and from every day. And I did that because I thought I needed the space to make herbal products, because the restaurant, it just kind of crowded everything out. So I opened that second location in 2014. And then we closed the restaurant in 2015 and had all the space in the world, but I was locked into a 5-year lease.
Wow.
And the foot traffic, location. I did not pick a good location. I picked a shopping center, which I learned that some shopping centers are recreational shopping, where people go to shop. They go because it's fun. Okay. And then others are errand malls. Where they have the dog groomers and the haircut and the nails and the hardware store. Yeah, so those are errand malls. And I was in an errand mall.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So the foot traffic was absolute. So I was out there every day by myself. I mean, some days it was just depressing. I was getting very depressed. Okay. And I was thinking, I can't do this. I have to sell it. I have to sell it all, because it was depressing me. I went from having this, even though the restaurant lost money, the whole concept was, making close to $1 million a year. Mm-hmm. So, right. And then I went down to less than half of that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
you closed it, obviously. Yeah. You closed it, obviously.
I did. I tried to make it work. Really tried to make that location work, and it didn't. So I was able to get out of that lease because somebody else was interested in it to open up a little restaurant. So okay, yay! I got out of that in 2018 and just got a renewed lease on my enthusiasm. I was back at the original location. We remodeled it.
Nice. Okay. And here you are growing your national brand now, just with your tea and the accessories and the other things that go with it. If you had to leave listeners with a few bits of business advice, because you have been paying close attention to your business over the years, what would you say?
One of the most important things is to be flexible and to be willing to, our COVID word, which is our 2020 business word, is pivot. Mm-hmm. Be willing to make some changes. If you see something that isn't working, don't be so attached to your concept, your product, your service. If people aren't picking it up, people aren't excited about it, do something else. Don't quit, though. If you love what you're doing, then figure out how to make it work.
Yeah. Even the name you changed. So, so everything's fair game, really, except just leaving.
Right. Yeah. If you stop, you'll never get successful if you quit.
That's great. Yeah. Great.
If you just quit and go back to a regular job, which I mean, for me, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
I'll never do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another basic lesson, which I learned the hard way, is keep it simple.
What was that?
Keep it simple.
Simple. Yeah.
Keep it simple. The branding, the concept, the product. Eliminate as much friction as possible. if the customer has to stop, or your client or whatever, if they have to stop and ask, how do I do this, or what's next, or what does this mean? That's a friction point. So pay attention to those friction points and eliminate them. Make it easy. Make it so simple. Make them feel like so pampered and spoiled.
I love that.
The last thing is to be consistent, even when you're bored with something. You might get bored of making the same product, interviewing the same client, showing the same houses, whatever. But if that's what's making your money, that's your business. Nobody said it's going to be exciting all the time.
That's the truth. Yeah, that's great. Those are great tips for anybody in any business. So thank you very much for that. And will you tell people how they can find you and buy from you and spread the word and maybe even be an affiliate?
Why, thank you, Michelle. I would love to tell people that. Our website is looseleafteamarket.com. Just like the name, Loose Leaf Tea Market. And on that website, you will find a little link that says become an affiliate. So if you're looking for, if you love tea and you're passionate about natural health and you want to earn some extra money, just click it, fill it out. It's easy to do. We're also on Instagram at Loose Leaf Tea Market. So, great. If you have any questions, if you want to email me anything, Keita at looseleafmarket.com. There's no T in the email. And
of course they can buy tea from your website. And
yes,
yeah,
please do. Because this is you guys are all entrepreneurs, or you're professionals in one capacity or another. I have created a special discount just for you.
Oh.
So enter, when you place an order, enter the code professional at checkout. And that's going to take a little chunk off your bill.
That's great. Thank you so much. I love that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we're just about out of time. You can buy sample packs from you too, which I really love. So if you just want to try some teas, you don't have to buy a larger container. You can try a few servings of, is it all of your teas that you have those?
Yes, but we also have 5 sample sets. Yeah. So just try 5.
Yeah.
And those are, little theme samplers. You can get a green tea sampler or a bestseller sampler or a relaxing sampler. So if you just want to, you don't know what you want, you can get packets that make 3 teas. They're $4.
Yeah.
Or you can get the just try 5.
Okay.
Throw in some paper tea bags for you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. I love your business. You're wonderful. And so, it's a good combo with a really kind of soul-centered business with a lovely person at the helm, and you're doing quite well. So I think you've definitely, you haven't left being an artist, but you've definitely added to that resume that you are now a successful business person. So congratulations. That's very cool to have people like you on.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I am so grateful for the opportunity to be here and to connect with all of your people. It's been wonderful meeting all of you. And Michelle, thank you again so much. You are awesome.
We're all lucky to know you. You're making us healthier and happier. So, and for the listeners, thank you so much for being here today. And love hearing from you too. So you can email me, michelle@limitfreelife.com. You can watch the show on my YouTube channel, Limit Free Life Show. You can also hear it on Apple Music and Spotify and iHeartRadio and all the other podcast platforms. And you can check it out here on ubngo.com. So thank you so much. We're here every Wednesday at 1 o'clock talking about business and career transitions and money. And so if you're interested in any of that, please show up for the shows and hear what we are talking about every Wednesday. Okay, have a wonderful week.